And a very pleasant Thursday evening to everyone. We welcome you to Ridgecrest Talk. Tonight's our sports version, usually Tuesday night, this week Thursday night because of the political forums. Tonight we're honored to have Manny Williams and Omar Haro from our Saracoso College baseball team with us. And these guys are both sophomores. They have experience and they've played the game before. And we're going to hear a little bit from them. We're going to talk about some of the challenges that we have at the college level. Kids trying to go to school full time and try to afford school full time and then play baseball. In California, all the junior colleges are non-scholarship. That means that there's no really athletic scholarships or anything that they can really do a lot to help the athletes financially, maybe a work-study job if they qualify. Unlike the National Junior College Athletic Association, which has full scholarships and partial scholarships. So California has so many junior colleges that they, in populated places, that they decided years ago it was going to be all non-scholarship. So with that said, that means, and I bring all that up because it takes special people to make a commitment and really a sacrifice sometimes to put all that effort without really getting much as far as monetary gains in return, and that's why I think it's a special group. The community college players they're there because they really want to play the game. So let's start with you, Manny. Why don't you give the folks who I know will come up to the dog yard this year to watch COSO baseball, especially if we're winning. Manny's a shortstop / center fielder. Tell us about yourself.
My name is Emmanuel Williams. Everybody calls me Manny, though. I'm from San Bernardino, small town in San Bernardino County called Rialto, California. I'm from Eisenhower, graduated 2008. I played my freshman year at San Bernardino Valley College. I came up here just to get a good opportunity to get back on the baseball field, get my studies again. I'm studying liberal arts and humanities. Soon to be a teacher for probably mentally challenged and deaf children, hopefully. Just looking forward to the season. Hopefully we have a very strong season. We have a very strong team, good guys on the team this year. So I hope to see you guys out there. Our game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Hope to see you guys there.
Okay, Mr. Omar.
Hello, everyone. My name is Omar Haro. I go by Big O. That's what they call me around the baseball team. But me, myself, I'm from Bakersfield, California. I moved out here to have the opportunity to play baseball, of course, and to further my education mainly. And like right here my teammate Manny said, we have a great group of kids. Hopefully everything works out and everybody puts the full effort, and that's all it takes. You don't have to be big to be the baddest. I'm a big believer about that. And it just takes heart, will, and just a lot of devotion to what you do.
Talk about your high school playing career.
I am a 4-year varsity player at Liberty High School. I graduated in 2010. I did really good there. I was mainly a pitcher there. I wasn't a catcher / third base. Switch, just because I love playing everything, and I don't like being on the bench, but that's from where I came from, Liberty High School.
And I know your dad comes over sometimes to watch you and support you, so I know you have quite a sports family.
Oh, yeah, sir. My dad's a big believer in me, and he loves watching baseball. You know what I mean? And love the family. I love the guy. But I also want to encourage the people from here, you know what I mean, that we need their support as well. We need everybody to go out there, and I know these last couple seasons have been tough. I know we've been up and down, but I want to say here that me, myself, I want to change the whole environment. I want to change the perception people see, good or bad, you know what I mean? I want everybody, we need the town support as well. It's a big deal.
Manny, talk about your playing days in high school.
I was originally a pitcher, 3 years on varsity. I converted to a shortstop / third baseman my junior year. Never been a very strong hitter when I first started, so that was usually the biggest thing that I had to work on as an infielder. Ever since then, I studied my craft as hard as I could. I graduated 2008, like I said. We weren't a very strong team at Eisenhower, but we did work hard, and we had great ethics from Coach Clarendon. Bob Clarendon is a very good coach, along with help with Coach Gilbert Polito. But it was a great, strong program that we had in the Citrus Belt League.
Now, I think it's great as a coach to have, older players. I think they bring leadership and wisdom, sometimes by trial and error. But you've been out of school for a few years there.
Absolutely.
I know you're interested in working with you know, the handicapped children.
Absolutely.
What kind of jobs have you had, or have you done much school in the years you've been out? What got you into, you know, the interest with the handicapped children?
My mom, she runs a daycare. She's been doing it for about 12 years now. And I'm always around different children, different types of children. You can tell by the way that they come from different homes. They're not the best homes, and sometimes they're very prestigious homes. Then I have a couple cousins that are mentally challenged with Asperger's and things like that. So you tend to get an understanding and try to want to understand how they are. You know, they're not different from us. They're not different people. They just for them to understand things are a little different, and I feel like they have to be more accepted to the society than just the society that we have as social Darwinism, as people think that they're not good enough, but they're just human beings just like us, and they should be accepted just like everybody else, though.
Now, Omar, what about you as far as a major year, third-year sophomore, and any thoughts on what you'd like to do, where you'd like to transfer to?
I'd love to transfer to, honestly, my dream school has always been Cal State Fullerton, baseball or not. It's a very good program, school-wise. And I'm actually going to graduate in sociology. That's my major. That's where I want to go, about the people. But that's where I'm going as of right now. That's my main focus. School and baseball comes second, of course.
Now, Manny, what kind of program would you need to maybe get certified working with the handicapped children?
It's all in the child development classes that I'm having to take. It's basically just to take the K through 12 curriculum, but I have to take extras like curriculum of children, or the study of how children work and how their growth and development works, because we have to understand how they have that learning disability. And it could be anything. It could be somebody that's born with it, or people that have a dyslexia problem, or any type of learning disability. And it starts in the home, and it starts with the parents at first. And it seems that the curriculum being watered down too does play a big part into our school system nowadays. And I feel that we should take it back to the natural way as it has to be. You know, study, reading books, not using the internet so much to keep us refreshed on the material that we should know. Absolutely.
Now, being an athlete, have you worked with the Special Olympics at all, as far as? Yeah.
Yes, I did it 1 year actually in Rialto. We were doing it for 1 year. It was the KC Royals. It was my friend Sean Williams. He was doing it. He had 2 children, Karina and Eric, and they are passed away now. But
man, let's hold that thought. I want to hear more about that when we come back. We're going to take our first break. If you just tuned in, this is Ridgecrest Talk. I'm Tom Heck. We have Omar and Manny with us tonight. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we are back. Tom Heck with Manny Williams and Omar Haro, members of the Saracoso College baseball team. We're kind of talking to them about all kinds of things on and off the field, and Manny has an interest in working with handicapped children and wants to, you know, pursue that as a career. And before we left, we were talking about his experiences, you know, working in maybe the Special Olympics, being an athlete as he is. And Manny, I'm sorry to interrupt you before we had to go, but go ahead and finish your thought on that.
It happened in 2011. It was the first year that they did it. It's the only year that they have done it. It was the first T-ball Special Olympics that they had. It was 7 innings. Everybody had a wheelchair, and they would hit off the tee, and then there would be a volunteer that would run them around the bases while they're sitting in the wheelchair, so they get the full experience of playing baseball without the experience of playing baseball. But it's a good experience because most of them were born not able to walk or to fully use their body or even have any type of cognitive skills. So it's good to see the smiles on their faces to know that they can still play the sport even though they're not as willing as a normal human or a normal will-able person.
Great, man. That's really. I respect that you have such an interest and a passion for, you know, for working with kids like that. That's tremendous. Well, Omar, let's talk a little bit about the season. Both you guys are sophomores. If not, I'm sure you will be soon named co-captains, being sophomore and leaders, and a couple of the older guys out there. So I think that, you know, you're going to set good examples and everything. You've both, you know, been around the game a while. Omar, what, and I know you're trying to, you know, change the environment and everything up there, but let's talk a little bit about Coach Scott. He's come from Northern California and doing a great job out there, and I know that, you know, he's working to change things, you know, maybe just philosophy or just maybe attitudes or whatever it would be, as all new coaches do when they come into a program. Everybody has their things that they like to do. But tell us about the environment right now.
Well, actually, new skipper, you know what I mean? So it's a new beginning for the whole program. Me, myself, on a personal level, he's taught me a lot. He's taught me a lot. And it's all the basic stuff. It's all the basic stuff that you see, but you just don't preach it, so you don't practice it. But other than that, the man's great. He's a good guy. He's straightforward. I mean, he comes to practice every day. He has no excuses, and that's the way it should be. And I believe the way he's carrying his attitude, it's reflecting on the baseball players, because you need somebody to preach it in order to set the example, and he's doing a fantastic job of it.
Okay. And Manny, let's talk about San Bernardino and Saracoso, kind of two different worlds. And let's talk about those worlds. And was it a tough adjustment for you to come into a smaller community like this?
Absolutely not, because San Bernardino, it was very structured, so it gave us to be young men at such a young age. And me coming out of high school being 17, it helped me mature much faster, knowing that I had to be with a lot of older guys as well. So I had to understand that I had to work hard and I had to fit in to be a much mature to come off as an older person, because maturity shows a lot on the field. It shows it's a big part on the field, and a lot of people read that type of, I call it steez. And steez is everything of how a person is supposed to be read. I can read, people call it swag. I like to call it steez. If a person's steez's demeanor is very mature, people feed off of that. They feed off a good aura. And I feel that's what San Bernardino gave me to come up here with, because I feel that the guys really vibe. We vibe together. It's good chemistry. It's more of a family now than just, we're just a bunch of guys playing baseball. It's more of a family now. And that's why I feel San Bernardino gave me to bring up here for that.
Where do you see yourself maybe at the 4-year level playing next year, or what are your thoughts?
I'm trying to stay healthy, but I hope it goes well this season, at least to get some good offers, but I feel that I can help a lot of good programs. I'm a hard worker, so I feel like any type of offers that I can get, if it's anywhere in between the white lines, he needs me in infield, outfield, pitching, I'm there to help any type of program.
And you are very versatile. You're really by nature an infielder, a shortstop. You cover a lot of ground, have very good range. You kind of float out there, and a very, very good arm, and hit the ball fairly well. But you're also a very good outfielder. And I think right now, one of the places that you may play quite a bit is at center field spot. Anything hit in the air, you seem to can track down in a hurry and do a good job of anticipating. And Omar, as far as you go, I know 2 years ago when you played on the team, you actually were a man of a lot of different positions, mainly third base, but you also pitched and you can catch. And I know this year that Coach Scott, you know, could use you as any of those three. And I'm not sure where when the dust settles, where you'll end up. I know that, you may be called on to pitch, you may play some third base, and you catch some. And with a 34-game schedule, it's a lot of games, and people get bumped up or banged up, and you have to be able to fill in there. Last year, I know we were taxed to the limit. We just kind of ran out of healthy bodies there after a while, but that's one of the things I think is important for our success this year at Saracoso, is to stay healthy, which leads me to my next question. What have you guys done to try to help yourself in the off season? Let's start with Manny.
A lot of long toss and a lot of stretching. Flexibility is a big part. I did break my hand over the time, so it did set me back a little bit, but it starts at the stretching. You have to keep the muscles and the tendons, you got to keep them loose as possible, because flexibility is the name of the game. It's the biggest part. So a lot of band work, a lot of off-season weightlifting, a lot of fast, quick twitch muscle moving, a lot of wind sprints, a lot of running to get the lactic acid out. So it's more a conditioning season more than playing season during the summer for me.
Omar?
And that's the same thing for me, because it don't matter how you do in the fall. You can go undefeated in the fall. You can pitch magnificent in the fall. But if the spring comes and there's a little twitch, there's something in you that's going to benefit you from playing. What did you use the fall for? I am completely agree with what Manny says as well. It should be conditioning, and I'm a big believer of that. And me, myself, I try to run. I'm a big believer of the core. That's the center of your body. That's everything. So I try to focus really a lot on my core.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you guys work hard, and in the weight room I've seen you in there before, and I think it takes a lot of self-discipline, especially in baseball. Baseball, at least to me, is full of repetitions, doing the same thing over and over again, but trying to do it so you do it right, and that's the difference sometimes. I think consistency comes from doing things over and over again, correctly and all. But when we come back for our last segment, we're going to talk a little bit about, how we deal with some of the weather conditions around here that have affected games, and I'll share a couple of quick little stories about games in the years that I've broadcasted up there where the wind has been more than a factor. We'll hear all about that. We'll talk more with Manny and more with Omar when we come back. This is Ridgecrest Talk. We'll be back. And we're back for our third segment. Glad you've joined us. We're on Ridgecrest Talk. I'm Tom Heck. We have Manny and Omar with us from the Saracoso college baseball team. We're just kind of talking about college life, baseball at the junior college level. And before we left, I asked you about how weather can be a factor up here. Now, practicing in the fall can be awfully hard, especially in September and October, a little bit warm in the afternoon. And then when the spring comes up, we have a thing called wind, and a lot of wind. And you add the January and February where it can get a little bit on the cold side, quite a challenge. But how do you prepare yourself for playing when the wind really is blowing? Now, would that be a home field advantage in a way, kind of knowing your terrain, the wind directions, and the jet stream? Your thoughts on that, then I'll share something. Go ahead. First,
absolutely.
Manny.
Absolutely. It plays a big part because we practice in that weather. And from San Bernardino, we don't see a lot of heavy wind like we do out here in Ridgecrest. So when we practice in that weather, we're really getting our repetition in, understanding what the way that the wind works and how we use it to our advantage instead of our disadvantage. Because we can't control the weather, but we can control the way we play underneath that weather, though, or within that weather.
Omar?
Actually, I've had a really crazy personal experience here myself. My very first year here, we were playing Porterville College, and this was fall ball game, and it was towards November. And I remember being out there. There must have been like 20 to 30 mile-an-hour winds with like 30-degree weather. And I remember being out there, and it was like I was like a popsicle. I was really shaking. I was really shaking like no tomorrow, and I did not want the ball hit to me because I couldn't throw it. Like my arm was really cold. You were cold in a bliss. And even during games, I've seen a routine pop fly hit to right field, go out of the field, just goes over the fence. The winds pick up too fast out here.
The jet stream has seemed, for the most part, to blow from left to right. So right field can be an adventure. Every fly ball can be an adventure. And I remember one night we were playing Chafee, and we ended up winning that game. I think the final was 21-19, but the wind started kicking up later in the game, and it was where the lights were on now, and it was really a long game. And I'll never forget just what seemed like fly balls routine were landing 40 feet beyond the fence out there, and we ended up winning the game on a 3-run home run that would have probably been a routine fly ball to right field. I've also seen some games up there where every fly ball in the infield was an adventure. I mean, you were just running around trying to figure out, man, how do I get under this thing?
Craziness.
But if you would be fun, stadiums today are pretty enclosed in comparison. But back in the old days, before you guys were probably born, the San Francisco Giants played in Candlestick Park. and they had to learn that they ended up, it wasn't all enclosed Candlestick when they first built it, and it was open, and they were right off the bay, not where they are now, although they're right off of water, but they're not right off that bay, and the wind would just come in and just swirl in there, and they have pictures of pitchers falling off the mound, getting blown off the mound. There's pictures of games where the ball went up and just went every which way. And what they finally did, they built some cardboard, a gigantic piece of cardboard reinforced with steel out in the outfield. And then after the years went by, they totally enclosed it, which helped some, but wasn't the cure-all. And then eventually they moved into AT&T Park now. But going back, I remember as a little kid watching some of the games there, and it was absolutely hilarious. They had some great World Series moments from the early 60s there, and just kind of fun to watch the old clips. Hey, what kind of baseball brand is your favorite? Small ball? Are we going to move runners along? Power? What do you see this year?
Honestly, in order for us to win, and like I said earlier, to be the biggest, to be the baddest, you don't have to be the biggest, and we're not the biggest. We need to stay fundamental in both sides, in all sides of the baseball field, all areas, defense, offense. We need to stay fundamental and play baseball. And if it's bunt the guy over so we can get him over to put him in scoring position, we have to do it. We have to stay fundamental. If it's staying in front of the baseball because it's hit so hard, we have to do it. That's the way you win games. That's the way fundamental helps you win games.
Manny?
We win every inning. If it's 1-2, 2-1, we go out there, we win every inning. If it's we have to bunt the guy over, as Omar said, if we have to do hit and runs, if we have to double up on the hit and runs, we have to keep the defense of the other team thinking that we're always moving. We got to keep them on their toes, because our idea is to catch them on their heels. That's all we're doing. We just have to catch them slipping and capitalize on any errors that they do make. Capitalization is the key to winning. Capitalization.
What have you heard about San Bernardino Valley College, their team this year? They're usually one of the top 2 teams in our league. Have you heard anything from down there?
I hear that they have a few pitchers that are supposed to be prospects of the draft.
Wow.
So we're looking forward to that, to see how well that goes this season. We're going to just stay within ourselves, stay working hard, stay in the weight room, stay conditioning, and then looking for playoff berth this year. Most definitely within staying fundamental.
It's been since really 1999, 2000, the last time COSO was in the playoffs, so that's a great goal. I think, you know, one thing you have going for you this year is some chemistry. You don't have a ton of people, but I think in many ways that sometimes it's better to just have less and have more camaraderie with what you do have. Everybody will accept their role, and I think roles are easier to give out sometimes, and especially this year when you know, the experience is there, and then a lot of the new guys there, and I think that you guys will be an important part of that, you know, being in the leadership role. So real quickly, just give me 2 keys. We have about a minute left. Give me 2 keys, Manny, for success. Maybe short sentences. And you too, Omar.
Just 2 words. Or 3 words.
A couple of
words.
words.
It's hard work and dedication. You have to have a sense of confidence, but you can't be obnoxiously or ignorantly cocky. Nobody likes a cocky person. It's more or less in how you talk, but how you present yourself and how you use the way that you walk to present yourself. And that's the biggest key.
That's the biggest key, and my key is go hard or go home.
Okay.
Why are you here? Go hard or go home.
Okay. Guys, I sure appreciate you being here tonight. I'm on my way over to do the Coaches Football Show, and you can catch that live tonight on 12:40 a.m. And I'll be back next Tuesday. We'll have Jim Ledbetter from the Official Association, one of the assigners, here with us. Come out and support Manny. Come out and support Omar. Thanks,
Please.
guys.
Thank you.